Tonight, President Trump doubled down on the demonstrators, who he has called thugs. He appeared in the White House Rose Garden tonight and struck a law and order tone, threatening to call in the military if more governors don't deploy the National Guard.
If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem for them.
Before President Trump appeared there in the Rose Garden, he ordered troops to fire tear gas at protesters, peaceful protesters who were gathered near the White House, so the area would be clear and he could walk across the street for a photo op, which he did after that little speech in the Rose Garden. Global's Jackson Prosco is near there for us tonight. Jackson, give us a sense of the tone and the message from the president tonight.
Donna, it was all about law and order, all about sending strong signals that he wanted to crack down on days of protests, activity that at one point in his speech he even labeled as being domestic terrorism. That was carefully timed to coincide with the crowds being cleared out from outside the White House. There were some warnings given to the crowd. Not everyone heard those warnings, but police advanced on what was essentially an entirely peaceful protest. There was no sense of this, but we did see National Guard troops and riot police fortify the White House grounds and then move on that crowd so suddenly so that, as you mentioned, the president could carry out that photo op across the street.
Jackson, you know, there probably are people in these crowds who are taking advantage of the situation and being violent and doing things. You know, a whole bunch of groups are coalescing around this movement. But there is real outrage in the United States over what happened in Minneapolis, over the death of this man. And is the president aware of that in any way and doing any messaging to try and calm that anger and offer some kind of solution?
The sense we've had over the past few days is that the White House does not have a message or a strategy when it comes to hearing the concerns of Americans, especially the black community, about the tactics used by police and the death of so many black Americans at their hands. And that is why the president instead has struck up this law and order tone. In fact, he had a conference call today with many state governors. He called them weak for refusing to crack down on these protests. He has been almost singularly focused on the violent aspect of the protests and the people he feels are behind it, which he labels as Antifa, which is a far left-wing ideology. It's not a specific group, but he's also threatened to brand them as domestic terrorists. So it is perhaps not a surprise that he struck this heavy-handed tone today. But you're right, Donna, that question of how he deals with the healing, with the racial divide in this question, that looms over all of this, and few will be satisfied by strictly a militarized or heavy police crackdown across the country.
All right, Jackson Prosco near the White House tonight. Thank you.